Aloha and shalom. I'm not in my usual spot, but I'm here now and I'm ready for this final quarter activation. So I'm going to begin setting up while everybody tunes in as usual. For those of you returning to the activation portal, welcome back. And for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. We do this every single week. So we had the full moon reading last week, and we have the final quarter activation right now happening. So the full moon was all about receiving the fullness of the picture, really taking in all that was being revealed. Clarity, full picture, taking it all in. And now we're at the final quarter, so we're ready to start integrating what we have been noticing, what we've been reflecting on, what we have been receiving, all of that clarity, the visions that we've come to. It's time to integrate, implement. And then next week we'll have a new moon, and what that's reflecting to us is what's going on inside of us, which is a new beginning, a new chapter, a new cycle. So the final quarter is all about wrapping up one cycle and setting the stage for the new. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Hello, fellow Arizonians. Feel free to share this video now while we're live and getting activated. Maybe you have a favorite group you want to share this to now, or a family member or a friend or someone who's been struggling lately. Or maybe you want to share the recording afterward, and it will be available as usual on YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, for those who aren't on Facebook. Ohio, Australia. Another Australia. The world is tuning in. I like to imagine, and I used to say this all the time, and I haven't in a while, so I'll say, I like to imagine the globe in my mind's eye from an outer space perspective. I'm looking at the earth, and I see little points all over the globe lighting up as everybody's tuning in and saying where they're tuning in from. And remember, it's not just who's watching live, but everyone who will tune in after will also add to this magical no time, no space portal that we're entering, because truth is universal, it's timeless, and this message will always be applicable. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle our Hebrew deck. For those of you who've never seen this before, it looks like this. On one side, looks like this. On the other side, Hebrew letters. And the Hebrew alphabet works the same way that the tarot does. It's a divine design that reflects the design within our very being, within all things. You're just tuning into everybody's energy, connecting, giving thanks in advance, not just for the message about to come through, but just for everyone's presence here now. Also, giving thanks for the message that's about to come through. Giving thanks to the archetypes, the faces of the one. That's you, that's me, that's we. We. Okay. Beginning first with the tarot deck. The challenge and gift, what we also call the focus of the current time and the week ahead. Something that's been a stepping stone that we're now moving away from to focus on this challenge. And the Hebrew letter, ally. Okay, are you ready? You ready? I'm ready. Challenge and gift. I have to say that this one's been coming up a lot in my day-to-day readings. Not just for myself, but for readings I've been doing for others. Okay, so Knight of Cups, current challenge and gift. It's also the current focus. Cups is the suit of feelings, emotions, and water. And the Knight is on a horse. It's about putting into action those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions, expressing them. Okay, so this is the challenge and the gift. So particularly look for situations where it feels the most difficult to be in a loving expression. Start there. If you say, well, I'm always loving, I challenge you to be more so. Take it to the next level of love. But for most of us, we relate to the truth that there are certain times and certain places in our personal experience where it's more difficult to be in that loving expression. Start there. Because it's like, where do I begin? Well, obviously where it's most difficult, right? Because where it's most difficult is where there's the most potential for transformation. That's what we like. That's what we want. That's where we can do the most work, the most evolution. So start there. See where it's most uncomfortable for you. Why am I thinking unloving thoughts? Why am I speaking words that are anything less than absolutely loving? Words of compassion. Where is it hard for me to behave lovingly? Where can I even notice in my life my body tenses up? What situations? In what situations? Relationships. Does my body tense up? Even places, even spaces that we visit and we feel uncomfortable. That's your intuition speaking to you. What is it telling you? Okay, so it's not to say that if you're in an uncomfortable situation and you feel like you can't be loving, that you should just be loving and like give of yourself, give of your energy. Maybe that's just your intuition telling you you're unsafe. Okay, so listen to that and bring yourself out of that situation so that you recollect your energies. You're not just draining your energies to all kinds of situations, but you're recollecting your energy, taking it away from those situations that you don't have to put yourself in unnecessarily, just causing more discomfort and more trauma. You're going to remove yourself from those situations, and you're going to put yourself in situations not only where it's easy to be loving, but where you know either it's easy to be loving and be loved, but also in situations where you're going to find that it's worth it to move through the transformation and alchemize those yucky feelings into feelings of love. By no means should you be putting yourself somewhere unsafe. So that is a part of this process, is part of this current challenge, is looking at where I can't be loving, understanding why in some situations we've been putting ourselves in unsafe scenarios, and removing ourselves from those. That's the first step. Freeing up your energy, getting yourself out of situations where there's no reason for you to be there, so that you can then have enough energy and enough presence to work on those situations where it's going to be worth it, where it's actually necessary for your soul to do this work of moving from discomfort into being more comfortable with being loving, because love is what you really are. It's who we really all are. So that could look like, say, you're in a relationship. One that's really relatable, right, is the parent relationship. Most of us have a parent or some kind of parent figure in our lives, right? Some kind of guardian. And, maybe you feel uncomfortable being loving toward them because you had a small argument. That's something that you definitely want to work out. You don't want that to ruin your relationship. That's where you, this week particularly, want to look at that discomfort and know that the stars have aligned and the cycles of nature have aligned to bring you to this present moment where this particular type of work is highlighted. So your efforts are going to be matched by the universe right now. Okay, so this would be the main thing to focus on. It's so simple, right? It's like, where in my life am I not being an expression of the love that I am, that we are? Because that's ultimately what this means. It doesn't just mean, yeah, be a little nicer in your relationships. It's saying, like, if you want to take it all the way to the deepest, most esoteric truth hidden within this card, it's understanding that we all are love. Back of all things is love, light, law, eternal. Those are all one thing. We are all one thing. Okay, so breaking through all the way to the center truth of this card, this initiation, is understanding that we are all that love. And how am I being an expression of it for the highest good of all is one? Where have I been holding back from being that love that I know we all are? How can I take myself to the next level of embodiment of this love? And by this love, I mean eternal light. An embodiment of the virtues, right? Because that is an expression of that love, that light. When we're an embodiment of any of the virtues, it is a part of the all virtuous light of compassion. Okay, so you might look at your personal life and say, I've really been closed up and close-hearted toward so-and-so, toward this person, toward that person, or, I could certainly be more supportive of my siblings, and regardless of what I think about what their choices are, regardless of my judgments upon their choices, their decisions, how can I be an expression of love, compassion, by being non-judgmental, by being supportive, by being somebody who is a safe space for others, right? So when we are in that compassionate space, we can't simultaneously be embodying a vice. When we're in that compassionate, loving space, being an expression of love, we can't also be exhibiting impatience or dishonesty. So it is required that we be virtuous, that we embody the light of the virtues in order to be an expression of the love, the highest love that we truly are. Okay, so this message, there's a lot, and it's very clear right away. So I'm going to just jump right into it. Here we have the Eight of Pentacles. Pentacles is the suit of mind to matter, thought to things. And this is the card of like working away on your craft, whatever it is, working away on your manifestations, okay? We don't need to go into the details. Let's go straight to the root here. So we're working on manifesting things. We're in this material reality. It's time to chill out. It's time to refine and realign. All of your work and busyness and all of your efforts are going to be for nothing if you don't remember that we're here to be an embodiment of this love, to be an expression of this most high love. Okay, so for example, if what you're doing, your works, your projects, your relationships, all of your material scenarios in this life, if any of them aren't helping you to be a better expression of the love that you truly are, if any of them just have nothing to do with your and our shared one mission of bringing heaven to earth, why are you doing it? Because everything can be done, meaning our relationships, all of our works, all of our hobbies can be done with a higher purpose. In fact, that's what brings us the fulfillment within each one of these relationships, each one of these opportunities, these work affairs. It's always going to be the most fulfilling beyond the physical world when we do what we do with purpose. So now would be a really, really great time to see where we've been on autopilot, where we've been running into doing more, and work harder, and spread myself thin. And, where are you doing these things? Where have you been getting so lost in your projects that, you kind of forgot, like, this really means nothing if I can't even be a loving human being? Because it's all to unleash that unlimited love from our hearts, right? That's why we are here, to create a world where we can be who we really are, who is that expression of love, that light, an expression of truth. But what are we working on if it's not that? We have to remember what we're really here working on is the self. doing whatever we must do to refine our character to ultimately be what? An expression of love. And that true love is the same as the light of which we are made, and it is eternal. Okay, so it's time to just take a step back here from all the work and getting lost in all our projects, and remember, and I'm not saying take a step back for a day or take a step back for a week. These messages aren't about time. That's up to you. We're simply only saying take a step back for as long as you need to really feel and remember your mission to be an expression of the love and eternal light that you, I, me, we all are as one. Just really remember you're here to be an expression of that is the key. Because you already are that. So it's just about taking a moment to come back to authentic remembrance that you are that, and that you are here to share that, to be that in all moments, to relentlessly stick to that mission of being an expression of that light. Again, we are already that, but we're here to do something with that, okay? And so all of our projects are worth nothing if we don't remember that. So it's time to remember. Okay, and the Hebrew letter ally of the week is the letter Shin. And it's the 21st letter of the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet. And it represents the element of fire. And you can see it literally looks like fire, right? It looks like fire. And I mean, it's pretty obvious, but just going back to what we said a moment ago, this Shin represents the fire, which is an expression of the light that we truly are. The fire element is the spirit in manifestation, in its purest manifestation, right? Like the suit of wands is connected to fire, is connected to spirit. And it literally looks like 3 wands, it looks like fire. And so we're being reminded of our light in its active form and how it manifests on this material plane as this burning fire. So it's about remembering the fire as it exists on this plane very physically, as it exists as your spirit, as it exists as the eternal light. Okay, think eternal flame. The Shin is reminding you, 3 is the number of action. Okay, it's also the 21st letter of the alphabet. If you reduce that, 2 + 1 = 3. It's reminding you about action. We have to put that light into action. We actually have to move to create friction, to create fire, to create life, okay, to create heat, to create life. The forces of polarity vibrate in opposition, thus creating all that you see around you and within you, everything. You are that. We are that balance. We are the child of the earth and the stars, right? 3. We are the masculine and feminine in unity. Okay, mother, father, baby. So we are beings of that light, but what are we going to do with this sacred mission? Okay, we have to bring things into existence. And again, just like the forces of polarity have to vibrate in opposition to bring something into manifestation, so do we. We need to make sure that our polarities are in balance for us to be able to even be an expression of this love, because we have to be in that vibration of balance and unity within our own polar forces to be able to manifest a true expression of this love, this light. Okay, so those are some of the secrets of the Shin. It's saying your light is in motion, right? Manifesting something of your light is a product of the forces of polarity dancing in harmony. Okay, their opposition is their harmony. Okay, what do you get when they stop vibrating and they meet at the center? Stillness, which some see as death and others see as eternal life. Okay, so we have to recognize that in order to be an expression, an active expression of this love, we must balance our polarities. That is the light that we are, is a balance of those two. We are the third. So how are you going to tap into the love that you are? Remembering it. Remember, just putting our awareness on it makes it shine a little brighter. So how are you going to do that right now? It's all about action, okay? This past week has been about receiving the clarity. Now it's about doing. What did you see? Integrate it. Balance your polarities. Get right with your intuition. Get right with your logic. Know how they dance. Allow them to. And know that that expression of their dance is your light in motion. And that's what the real Knight of Cups is about. Okay, so Shin is our ally of the week. You can look it up online, S-H-I-N. Remember, it's flipped because we're on a camera here. So you might want to do your own research into the mystical nature of this letter. You might want to put it on your altar, make it your phone background. It's here to remind us about our light and what that has to do with action and our purpose in this world, to bring light into expression, which is also love into expression. They are one. Okay, so wrapping it up, less doing, pull back for as long as you need to get in touch with the light that you are, and remember you're here to express that. Go back into your projects then with a renewed sense of self and a renewed sense of your mission, our mission, bringing love into all that you do and all that you are, especially where it's hardest. Removing yourself from situations where you're wasting your energy, recollecting your energy, and putting it toward those times where it's difficult to be loving and doing it anyway. Remembering that's why we are here, to be a burning fire of love in motion. Thank you guys for doing this activation with me, for being a part of this activation. I look forward to hearing how it relates to your personal life. For me, I have many situations where I need to work, where I could definitely be more loving and be more of that light that I know I really am, that we all really are. I know there are so many situations I could think of right away where I'm like, wow, yeah, I could really do some work there and there. So if you want to relate to others in this mission, if you want to share how you're going about this work this week, you want to share what synchronicities are happening for you, or how this challenge/gift is unfolding, we have a private group on Facebook called the Archetypal Alliance. Join us there if you want to share. We also have a private group called Shabbat Crew, where we post every Friday the mystical understanding of the current Torah story. Usually relates to the activation. It always does. Sometimes we just can't see it as easily. Thank you so much for those of you who have been donating. I'm so humbled. This past week was so amazing to get so much feedback from you guys, so many reviews, so many donations, beautiful. And so many of you are interested in my book, and I didn't know because it was all in my spam folder on Facebook for like a few years. I was just thinking, maybe nobody wants to read my book, but turns out you do. So my first book is on the major arcanum cards in the tarot, and my second book is all on the minor arcanum cards and my personal secrets, my intuitive findings from the tarot, and a new way of looking beyond the manipulations of the elemental suits. So if you're interested in books 1 or 2, please reach out to me. I'd love to ship it directly to you, from me to you, with a sweet little bookmark. And please, if this message touched you, or if you've been watching the activations and you can give back, I am so grateful. The links are on my wall. Venmo, Rebecca-Magic. I also have Cash App, PayPal, all the things, and you'll find them on my Facebook wall. And again, thank you for the reviews. You may do so at facebook.com/RoyalPathTarot. You can leave a star review, or feel free to email me a review or direct message me. My email is info@royalpathtarot.com. I am doing readings right now. Reach out if you have a question about one-on-one sessions. A lot of you have been asking about my symbolism class. I have a 60 to 90 minute long class on each of the major Arcanum cards, including the hidden card 22. So if you're interested in one of those cards or the whole thing, send me a private message, email me info@royalpathtarot.com. Again, this video will be loaded to YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, for those not here on Facebook, so please feel free to share. Thank you for being here. Also, shout out to Wendy, Amy's mom. She painted this. It was a picture of me in Hawaii, and this is its debut. That was some years ago now, but it was never in one of my videos, and here it is. Love her. She's an amazing artist. Wendy Meldrum Studios, y'all. Look her up. Thanks for all the love, guys. Cheers to all you artists. Cheers to everyone. I love you. And I'll see you next week. Aloha.